Hello, it's now 3 years since I've owned my Tesla Model 3, which means I need to get another year's car insurance and also get the car MOT'd. I'm a bit early waiting outside the garage, and I've had the price to renew my car insurance, and it seems quite expensive to me. So I'm going to get on the internet, look at some comparison sites and see if I can get a reduction anywhere. And also, as the car's being MOT'd, I'll let you know how that went, as well as all my costs of running the Tesla for 3 years and 22,000 miles. Hello friends, I'm Nigel. I hope you can subscribe and like, and thank you very much for joining me today. And I really do hope you can stick around. I think it's time to drop the car off for its MOT, and we'll see how that goes. It's crazy, it doesn't seem 3 years ago that I bought the car. It's the only new car I've ever owned in my life. Now in the first year, the prices of new Teslas went up after I bought mine, and so I could have resold it for more than I'd paid for it. But then prices came down again, and it's about the same as any other similar price car. It's certainly no worse, that's for sure. There are a lot of legacy automakers that took advantage of the chip shortage, bumped up the prices, and there's been some huge depreciation from some of the legacy automakers. Now, I was a company car driver for years, and companies always have new cars, as time is money. It makes a financial sense to them, but not always for the individual. My father was a policeman. He only bought new cars when he could afford it, and he actually bought, I'm very proud of this, one of the very first VW Golfs ever made in this country. It wasn't a hot hatch then, it was in the 70s, and in the first week I went to start it in the garage and it wouldn't start, and it's something that has put me off Volkswagens for a long time, even though people seem to think they're more reliable than any other car. I don't know where that comes from. North America don't have MOTs. But in the UK, every vehicle, when it's 3 years or older, has to have a safety inspection by a qualified garage, and that's short for Ministry of Transport, MOT. It keeps dangerous vehicles off the roads. Normally costs money because of the repairs needed. I'm hoping the Tesla won't cost me any money. After all, it's only 3 years old. Anyway, when I was a young motorist, failing the MOT often meant having to scrap the car because it was pretty much rusty and probably was safer not being on the road. It seems very odd taking my Tesla in, as it still feels so new to me, and the software is constantly being updated. The touchscreen on my phone app looked completely different and better compared to when I first owned it 3 years ago. Now, YouTube have stopped showing adverts on my channel, even though I've got 1,400 subscribers, well over the 4,000 watch hours, and well over the 1,000 subscribers needed, but they don't like my postcode. So I'm going to be doing my own adverts. And if you can help me on the YouTube issue, I'd very much appreciate it. It must have happened to some other people. So if you've got any answers to that, I'd really appreciate that. So, for now, I'm going to be doing my own ads. So, if you're thinking of buying a Tesla in any country, please use the link in the comments below, and it's also on the thumbnail. And you'll get £1,000 off the Tesla, and you won't get it any other way unless you use someone else's link, but you might as well use mine, and I'll get £500. And you'll actually be paying less for your Tesla now than I did 3 years ago. And if someone bought one 2 years ago, considerably more, because Tesla's put the prices up and now they've dropped them, and it is a very good price. So please use my link and you'll get £1,000 or dollars off a new Tesla. So my insurance in 2021, the first year I had it, was £378. In 2022, it went down to £355. So that was a nice reduction in the first year. In 2023, the media went hysterical, assisted by the oil companies, legacy automakers and car dealers, not wanting EVs to be successful and doing anything they could to slow down the transition to EV ownerships. So claiming EVs were going up in flames on ships or in car parks was a great story. But when fully investigated, it turned out to be gas vehicles and hybrids with engines causing the fires. It was never a Tesla unless it was set on fire by arsonists, and rarely an EV, and they are much less likely to set on fire than a gas car. And a hybrid is more likely to set on fire than a gas car. But I'm certainly not recommending anyone buys a hybrid. I think the EV, a full EV, battery electric vehicle is the way forward. But insurance companies never miss the opportunity to make even more money. So my insurance went up to £568 in 2023. My insurance company wanted £620 for this year's insurance, and they know most people are lazy and renew automatically. But I've been on the internet looking at prices. I'm going to collect the car. The MOT should be over now, and I'll tell you how much I've actually paid for this year's insurance once I pick the car up. That's good news. The Tesla passed its MOT, and even the tyres are fine and legal. It's been a long time since an MOT didn't mean costs apart from the £55 for the MOT. There was a time when I was first a driver, it meant scrapping the car. So I've been looking at the alternative insurance prices while the car's had its MOT. I managed to get it down to £374. That's much less than the quote they gave me. It's almost the same as the first year, 3 years ago, and it also includes my wife Jennifer to drive it. Now, saving £200 by going on the comparison insurance sites, I think is good use of my time. A lot more than I ever used to earn per hour when I was working. So I've had no servicing in the 3 years, and apart from a small dent, which was my fault, and it cost me £500, and that was no more or less than any other car. Now, some people without a Tesla say it's dangerous not to service it for 3 years. But a large part of the servicing is the software updates, which I and all Tesla owners do every month. It's true it won't replace the brakes, but the regenerative braking means the brakes are hardly ever used, and certainly not as much as ICE cars. Now, on the Tesla touchscreen, it advises you about maintenance service intervals. Service intervals, Tesla recommends the following maintenance items: brake fluid every 4 years, AC replacement bag every 4 years, and air filter every 2 years. Something that I could do myself, but as I have hardly ever used the air conditioning, it's not a serious issue. It says that you should clean and lubricate brake calipers every year, or 12,500 miles if you're in an area where roads are salted in the winter. Well, I'm not. Rotate the tyres every 6,250 miles. Heavy brake usage doesn't apply to me, or performance driving doesn't apply. It also lists the daily checks that motorists can do themselves without any need to go to a garage. It reminds me when I was in the RAF checking oil and water vehicles every day, no matter what. But as vehicles got better and better over the years, people no longer do that. The information lists the things that you can do and only Tesla can do. And for me, that's not for another year. And as far as the Tesla servicing is concerned, over the 3 years, I've driven all over the UK, England, Scotland, Wales, Land's End to John O'Groats many times, Spain and the Algarve in Portugal, and a total of 22,333 miles. Now, I don't use the car every day, as I like to cycle and walk as often as possible, but many of the miles driving with Jennifer are on road trips using the brilliant Tesla supercharger network. I've never run out of electric charge nor had range anxiety. And looking at my charge stats on my Tesla app, it says 44% of charging was at home and 38% was at Tesla superchargers and 14% was elsewhere. and the elsewhere was at Charge Place, Scotland. I never use the expensive public chargers. We all know who they are. I avoid them like the plague. Also says that I've saved last year £544 on gas, as my total electricity costs was £308 for charging the Tesla, compared to £852 for gas, petrol or diesel. I've done my own calculations. I do like to do that, and the numbers are very, very similar. If I only charged at home, I'd be saving even more, as I pay only 9p a kilowatt hour between 12:30 and 5:30 in the early hours of the morning. That's when I charge the car, mostly at home. Now, when I first had the Tesla, it was only 5p a kilowatt hour, but it's still a huge saving on petrol, diesel or gas. It's almost a tenth of the price, between a tenth and 1/8 of the price. So I'm easy saving £1,500 over the 3 years and 0 gas emissions, and I think that is quite nice, and I never get smelly diesel or petrol on my hands when filling up. Now, I've had 0 servicing costs, but the driving experience is so much better than any other car I've ever owned, and so clean and fun to drive with constant software updates. So if you're thinking about buying a new Tesla, please use my link in the comments below or on the thumbnail, and you will save £1,000 when you buy a Tesla. Oh, I think it's dollars in USA and Australia and Canada. If you've got any questions about buying a new Tesla, or about driving or owning a Tesla, please leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer them. Nothing too technical though. And also, if anyone knows how to get monetized by YouTube when you've got over 1,000 subscribers, I've got 1,400, well over 4,000 watch hours, because YouTube don't like my postcode and they don't send me the 6-digit code that allows me to be monetized. I would appreciate any advice that you have, because I'm not being monetized by YouTube. Now, it's true, if anyone does use the link, I will get £500, and that will be very, very nice. Who knows? Anyway, hope you can subscribe and like. Please drive safely, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.